We used to ask, what happens when science fiction becomes our daily reality? Almost like it was some distant, abstract future. But looking at the sheer velocity of the tech boom we're seeing right now across 2025 and 2026, that future isn't just arriving, it's already here. The pace of innovation we're witnessing right now is literally unprecedented, and I am absolutely thrilled to unpack it all with you today. Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We aren't just looking at a bunch of isolated, random events happening in the tech world. What we're actually experiencing is a massive, converging wave of new tech. It's a world where a breakthrough in one field instantly accelerates progress in another. It's this incredible, compounding loop of human ingenuity. Now, there is a staggering amount of innovation happening. So to make sense of this overwhelming wave, we've structured this explainer into 5 clear steps. First, the new intelligence layer. Second, hardware, power, and connectivity. Third, upgrading the human machine. Fourth, planetary and cosmic frontiers. And finally, the innovation imperative. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the new intelligence layer. These are our foundational mind technologies. These mind technologies, things like AI and quantum computing, they're actively unlocking breakthroughs literally everywhere else. The absolutely crucial point here is understanding the massive leap we've just made. Think back to 2023. Generative AI was essentially a thought partner, right? You asked a question, it gave you an answer. But now, in 2026, we have fully entered the era of agentic AI. We are talking about autonomous digital workers. They don't just generate text anymore. They actually perceive their digital environments, they maintain long-term memory across complex multi-week projects, and they execute multi-step goals with virtually zero human oversight. And the market? Well, the market has recognized this shift immediately. $37 billion. That is the massive number representing enterprise generative AI spend in 2025. To put that into perspective, that number was just $2.3 billion back in 2023. This explosive growth proves just how rapidly businesses are integrating these autonomous agents into their core operations to compress their decision-making cycles. Now wrap your head around this staggering figure, 13,000 times. While AI agents are taking over enterprise workflows, quantum computing just crossed a massive threshold of its own. Google's Quantum Echoes algorithm, running on their new 105-qubit Willow chip, operates 13,000 times faster than classical supercomputers on specific benchmarks. We have officially shifted out of theoretical physics and straight into practical engineering. Error correction, which has always been the biggest hurdle in quantum computing, is finally being solved. So, what happens when you bring these two incredible forces together? You get the synthesis of 2026 quantum AI. By giving artificial intelligence access to quantum computational resources, we're finally addressing the massive data and power bottlenecks that classical machine learning has been struggling with. This hybrid technology is perfectly positioned to accelerate everything, from molecular biology and drug discovery to the invention of entirely new, custom-designed materials. Moving right along to section 2, hardware, power, and connectivity. Basically giving these new brains physical bodies. Intelligence needs a physical form if it's going to interact with the real world. And honestly, just look at the shocking reality of affordable robotics today. For decades, humanoids were these multi-million-dollar, incredibly fragile lab projects. But thanks to a staggering 40% drop in manufacturing costs between just 2023 and 2024, the whole landscape has totally transformed. So while a commercial Boston Dynamics Atlas might sit around $145,000, we're seeing the Tesla Optimus target the $25,000 range, and the Unitree G1 hitting the market at just $16,000. This is the true democratization of robotics. They're becoming accessible to small businesses, and for sure, they'll be in our homes soon. But obviously, these robots and AI agents need to communicate seamlessly, which brings us to the 6G architecture. And look, this isn't just about getting slightly faster download speeds on your smartphone. 6G is providing the absolute connectivity backbone for all this new tech. It is a fully AI-native infrastructure that actively merges wireless communication with environmental sensing. It ties in non-terrestrial satellite networks so we have global coverage, and it relies heavily on zero-trust networking to make sure billions of connected endpoints stay secure. Now, none of this hardware matters at all without safe, reliable power. We are finally, thankfully, moving away from the highly flammable liquid electrolytes we've used in traditional lithium-ion batteries for years. The future is solid state. This transition is absolutely critical because it unlocks significantly higher energy density while completely eliminating the severe fire hazards that have constantly plagued traditional batteries. And this brilliantly illustrates the diverse approaches being taken right now to perfect solid-state power. Researchers aren't just relying on one single silver bullet material. Sulfide electrolytes are giving us exceptional ionic conductivity, while oxides provide superior thermal stability. Polymers offer much-needed flexibility, and composite materials are stepping in to balance all of these traits out. We are actively engineering the highly specific power solutions required for our next-generation electric vehicles and aerospace systems. Let's shift gears to Section 3, upgrading the human machine. We're talking longevity and brain-computer interfaces. We are now turning the lens inward, taking all this breakthrough tech and applying it straight to our own biology. Brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs, have crossed a massive threshold. We are seeing active global clinical trials from companies like Neuralink. Precision Neuroscience is actually deploying ultra-thin brain films, and Columbia University just unveiled a single-chip wireless BCI. The clinical promise here, like restoring motor function and speech to locked-in patients, is nothing short of miraculous. But, of course, this also brings up some incredibly profound societal questions. We're having to figure out how to navigate human autonomy, how to keep our neural data strictly private, and how to prevent terrifying new risks like malicious brainjacking. Alongside BCIs, our understanding of human longevity has evolved at a stunning breakneck pace. Back in 2020, the whole concept of epigenetic reprogramming, which is basically resetting the biological clock of our cells, was just a really cool breakthrough paper about a mouse's eye. By 2024, we had compelling primate data. And now, here in 2026, a therapy known as ER100 has actually reached FDA-cleared clinical trials in humans for optic neuropathies. Think about that. We are transitioning away from simply treating the symptoms of age-related diseases to actively targeting the underlying biology of aging itself. Next up is Section 4, Planetary and Cosmic Frontiers, expanding the scope of new tech. So let's zoom way out to the planetary front, where the convergence of AI and advanced materials is totally reshaping our approach to our biggest global challenges. Climate tech is quickly evolving into a highly strategic industry with real, measurable impacts. At the National Ignition Facility, scientists are now repeatedly hitting fusion ignition milestones. That's where the fusion reaction produces more energy than it takes to spark it, a total game changer. Meanwhile, direct air capture plants are actively scaling up globally, and we're seeing massive breakthroughs in highly efficient electrochemical carbon capture. These aren't just fun lab experiments anymore. They are the actual foundations of a brand new clean energy and carbon removal economy. And looking even further out to the cosmic frontier, advanced optics just continue to redefine our place in the universe. The James Webb Space Telescope is literally rewriting the stars for us. It's capturing these entirely unexpected early universe galaxy collisions and making groundbreaking discoveries, like actually detecting methane on distant comets. And guess what? The complex data pipelines powering every single one of those discoveries rely directly on the new intelligence and computing layers we were just talking about earlier. Which brings us to our final part today, Section 5, the Innovation Imperative, adapting to the velocity of change. We have covered a staggering amount of ground today, but why does all this actually matter to you? How does this connect to your daily life and your career? Well, because of AI, the traditional innovation process, brainstorming, building, finally launching, has been totally compressed. Ideas themselves are now incredibly cheap. What actually matters today is execution. Survival in this new era means discovering genuine opportunities amidst a sea of absolute noise, validating them instantly with smart, lean experiments, bringing them to market at lightning speed, and building high-trust ecosystems. Opportunity discovery and rapid realization, those are your new core skills. I really want to underscore the urgency of this idea. Innovation and adaptability are not just competitive advantages, but survival treats. Today, with open-source software, scalable cloud computing, and AI application programming interfaces, the actual cost of experimentation has practically collapsed to zero. A single person or a tiny startup augmented by agentic AI can now legitimately compete with massive legacy enterprises. The playing field hasn't just been leveled, it's been completely rebuilt from the ground up. And that leaves us with this final, provocative thought to chew on. The foundational models are fully available to us. The hardware is getting cheaper by the day, the platforms are highly accessible, and the tools are literally sitting right here in front of us. So the only question left to ask is, what will you build? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this sparks the exact curiosity you need to take full advantage of this incredible era.